Hey guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gamers, somebody me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tennessee Kaken's Path. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you. Let's jump right in. I'm actually planning on getting another little Christmas intro done. Give a little bit more variety to the month of December as we wrap this year up. Anyway guys, please sit back and enjoy, and here we go. Continue with Keisuke. Okay. But just as quickly as his performance had begun, Keisuke's voice begins to soften until he stops singing altogether, and a couple strums later, he also stops playing the guitar. As he whispered the last word and strummed the last note, Keisuke put the guitar down with a smile. Only then did I notice that he had his eyes closed for his whole performance. I spent the whole time looking directly at him, and yet I never noticed that. He takes a look around to see the amount of people on the side of the store had nearly quadrupled in size, and all of them were staring directly at him. Huh? What's with all these people here? Honestly, even if he had his eyes closed, how did he not notice all the people coming in? Every single one of the people that came inside to watch him was smiling widely, as if they just witnessed something amazing and satisfying. Which, in a sense, I suppose they did. Hell, even I can't keep myself from grinning. Keisuke's music, even if I heard him sing before at the karaoke, I was not ready for this. When he sings one of his songs, it's like the effect is increased tenfold. Holy crap, kid. You're an amazing singer, too! Shit, you have to go pro. You just have to. Keisuke chokes, taking a few seconds to recompose himself. Don't patronize me, Kiyoshi-san. I know it was nothing special. Patronize you? Kid, I used to be a professional musician. I offer some of the most highly sought-out guitar lessons in Japan. I have one of the biggest instrument store chains in the country. Do you really think I'm the type to offer idle praise? Think about it. How many times did I praise you for your guitar playing? You might be good now, but dear God, you sucked ass when you first started. Of course I did. I'd only just started. You can't expect someone to be a good guitarist after just 1 week. Kiyoshi smiles widely. If you truly want something, then you'll always find a way. Don't say such unreasonable things with a smile on your face. I don't really think it was that unreasonable. No, it was. It was completely unreasonable. You're a completely unreasonable person. Kiyoshi-san starts to pout, fidgeting around with comically blown-up cheeks. What? That's so not true. I'm a very reasonable person. You threw an ashtray at my face once before I couldn't get a solo right. Hey, that's not being unreasonable. I gave you ample time to practice it and you fudged it up. You gave me 2 days, and I'd only been playing the guitar for 2 weeks by then. The hell are you talking about? I just want to chime in and say that throwing things at people is completely unacceptable regardless of what reasons you might have. Kiyoshi-san frowns. Oh, so you're one of those, huh? That's too bad, and here I thought we could get along. One of those? One of those what? They're silly people who think you're not supposed to administer physical punishment to a child. Ooh, it ruins their childhood and all that. Excuse me, but how are these two things even related? I'm not a child. I'm 17 years old. I'll be 18 in a couple months for crying out loud. You don't throw an ashtray at a child either, you fucking psychopath! 18 is nothing, kid. Wait until you hit your 40s like me. Good lord, he's in his 40s? I guess it would be harder for us to notice a reptile aging. Will I be allowed to throw an ashtray at your face, then? Kiyoshi-san bellows out a thunderous laugh, completely filling the store with his booming voice. Well, it's safe to say that the few people that hadn't walked away after Keisuke finished performing have now vacated the premises to save their eardrums from popping. That's the spirit, kid. Of course you can throw an ashtray on my face. Not sure it'll do much damage, though. Seriously, everything about you is unreasonable. How can your skin be so hard in the first place? That's for me to know, and for you to go nuts trying to find out. I like this music. Keisuke groans in frustration. Okay, I'll admit, watching these two talking is incredibly funny. Seriously, it's taking all my self-control to keep from bursting out laughing. Meanwhile, I still have the scar from when the ashtray hit my forehead. Oh yeah, your pop screamed at me for 2 hours straight when you came home that day. Of course he did. No matter what kind of father he is, I came home bleeding from my forehead. Plus, my father was the least of your problems. Ugh, don't remind me. Alex threatened to cut me to pieces and throw me into a dumpster. Talk about overreacting. I'm sure he was just bluffing, I hope. Doesn't matter. The message was driven home. No way I'm laying a hand on you after that. Haven't done it in 3 years, I won't do it now. Good. At least I won't have to worry about any more heavy objects flying at my face. About this scar you said you have, how come I've never seen it? Keisuke sighs, touching his left brow with the tip of his fingers and pulling his fur apart. Luckily for me, the fur grew over it. You can still see it if you look close enough. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty big scar, right? I can't even begin to imagine how much that must have bled. Sheesh. You don't have to keep trying to make me feel bad about it, kid. How many times have I apologized already? I'm not trying to make you feel sorry, even though you should. And the answer to your question is none. You've never apologized for it. Oh, yeah. Well, no use starting now, am I right? He starts laughing again, seemingly incredibly amused at himself. I can't decide if this guy's a genius or an idiot. I'll just cut the difference and say he's a jediot. Clever, I know. You're an oaf, you know that? Why, thank you. I'm the oafiest of oafs. Again, not a compliment. Either way, can you play back the recording for me so we can decide if this is a good mic for me? Sure, just hang on a second. Let me clean up the audio file just a tiny bit. He fiddles with a bunch of knobs and settings that I cannot even begin to understand. Once satisfied, he hands the headphones to Keisuke. Alright, listen for yourself. I personally think it sounds great. Keikun puts on the headphones, finally answering once and for all the question I've always had in my mind. How do rabbits and hares use headphones? Apparently it's far easier than I first thought. I don't know. I made that. This is me. Is this really me? Yep. I assume you've never heard yourself recorded through a high-fidelity mic. This is what you actually sound like to other people. I told you, you've got tremendous talent as a singer. Are you sure you don't want to consider it? No, thank you, but still, I can't believe I actually sound like this. Now I'm even more excited to start recording songs. Ha! That's the spirit, kid! So you'll be taking this one then. For you, it's wholesale price, so you don't really need to worry about money. You remember my guitar? Pretty safe to say money was never going to be an issue. Hey, it was your dad who bought it for you. You didn't buy it out of your own pocket. True, but I could. Kiyoshi-san chokes. But how much money do you have saved up? Over 90% of all the money I've given since Father took me in. Lizard whistles in admiration. That's quite a lot of dough, and I already know your dad gives you a ridiculous amount every week. You tell me. I've told him that the amount he gives me weekly would last me 6 months, but he doesn't listen. Wow, talk about first world problems here. From his reaction to hearing me speak, I think it's safe to say that Keisuke forgot I was even here in the first place. Sorry, Yuichi-san. I guess to you it just sounds like I'm whining about having too much money. You don't have to apologize for that. I'm just casually ribbing you over how absurd your complaint just now was. I don't care how much money you get. Yeah, the thing is, I care. I already don't like my father giving me money, let alone that much. Seriously, kid, learn to depend on your dad a little. He's not as bad as you make him out to be, I swear. No offense, Kiyoshi-san, you might have grown up with him, but I'm the one who lives with him. I know how he treats me. I already said I don't want to talk about this, so can we please drop it? Alright, no need to get all pissy again. Let me just box this up and then you can be on your merry way. It doesn't take him long to get the microphone bag neatly again inside of the box. I even had the opportunity to glance at the price sticker before Keikun has already ripped it out and paid for the mic. Thank you, Kiyoshi-san. It was nice seeing you again, despite everything. Ha! For sure, kid. Don't be a stranger anymore, okay? I swear, if you go in another year without visiting me, I'll break into your house in the middle of the night and I'll shake you awake. Good luck with that. The hounds would tear you apart. Huh. Pretty sure my skin is hard enough to survive a few dog bites. Keisuke's smile is so eerie, it's sending chills down my spine. It's off-putting, to say the least. Who said anything about biting? Or dogs? Despite me not understanding what he's implying, Kyoshi's expression suddenly shifts to a very somber one. Oh, yeah, that one might actually kill me, alright. I guess I'll tread carefully after all. I'd like to know what he means by that. Don't worry, Kiyoshi-san. I'll come visit you again soon. Sorry to have been away for so long. The two wave each other goodbye, and soon we're already back to the street. Keisuke walks around with his chest puffed up in pride and excitement, holding onto the bag with his new microphone. You seem awfully chipper now. Of course I do. You didn't hear the recording. You have no idea how good it was. No, I didn't. I did hear the live version, though, and let me tell you, it was good. His cheeks began to pink up. It was nothing special, really. Why can't you just accept the compliment already? Everyone tells you you're a great singer and you still can't accept it. It's annoying, you know. I mean... Oh, relax. Just keep an open mind, okay? We're not pulling your leg when we tell you that we like your singing. It's really good. And so is your guitar playing. I have to say, I agree with Kiyoshi-san. I think you'd make a great musician. The change in his demeanor is so sudden that I freeze. Why? You think I can't make it as a tennis player? But no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that... Just what? I'm not talented enough? Just... To me, it looks like you're more talented when it comes to music. Keisuke's eyes turn into slits and he huffs a couple times. I see. He picks up his pace, walking faster than before. I have trouble keeping up. Damn, that is one spry rabbit. Hare. Oh, whatever. I start running after him. Suddenly out of the corner of my... Oh my god, that's the one he was talking about. Holy shit. I see a huge mass of black fur jumping in between the two of us and grabbing Keisuke by his shoulders. Got you! Unable to stop in time, I collide into the mass of fur. Ah, he smells! Hey, let go of... He turns around to look at me with his glare, and his glare immediately chills me all the way down to my bones. The man, a wolf with piercing blue eyes, or were they maybe green? I'm not so sure. Ah, not now, focus! The wolf suddenly reached a hand out from my neck. Caught completely by surprise, I was too late to react. Stop! Keisuke shouted. I was already prepared for the worst. This man was going to mug us and probably beat me half to death while at it. But unexpectedly, his hand stops just inches from my neck. What the hell do you think you're doing? Keisuke walks around the man, flicking him on the nose. Could you not do that? The man looked sternly down at the hare, but Keisuke merely crossed his arms and stared angrily at the wolf. What's going on here? Aren't you robbing us? No, aren't you robbing him? The wolf made a gesture with his head, pointing at Keisuke. What? Me robbing Keikun? Of course not! Alex, what the hell are you doing here? Oh, so his name is Alex. That's the Alex. Oh my. Oh god, you stink to high heavens. What the hell is this stench? The wolf, Alex, steps away from me. Now that he doesn't tower over my sight, I can see that he's wearing a black vest over a white business shirt with a red tie around his neck. I'm just doing my job and taking care of a potential assailant. And the stench, this is your doing. My doing? What did I do? You threw your phone in the dumpster. And you drove after it, and you dove after it? The wolf nods. Of course I did. I thought you'd gotten attacked in the streets and someone threw your wounded self into the dumpster. A sane person would have just noticed that I threw it away and not get tracked. But then again, a sane person would install tracking software into someone else's phone, so I don't even know why I bothered to try and reason with you. The wolf frowns, crossing his arms. Guys, lovely little chat, but I have two things to say to it. Number one, I'm downwind from you, so I'm gonna walk to Keisuke's side so the stench doesn't kill me. Please don't try to attack me while I do so. The wolf nods. Second of all, who are you? That's what I want to ask you. You know who he is, Alex. He's my senior from the tennis club. Oh, so he's the Yuichi I've been hearing so much about. What do you mean so much about? Ignore him, he's exaggerating. Either way, since you've visited my house before, you already know that we have, servants. This is Alexander Drake. Alexander Drake? Really? Wow, what a name. He's my personal bodyguard. And language tutor, translator, and sometimes a cook. You have a personal bodyguard? Alexander raises an eyebrow. You're aware of his status, are you not? Did you really not think he wouldn't have one? Well, he also doesn't go to an elite rich person academy, so I thought, huh, that's just because he insisted on going to this one school. You had to hear it, how much he whined to his father about wanting to go to the same school as you and... Ah, shut up! Keisuke covers Alexander's mouth with both of his hands. The wolf looks completely unimpressed by this. Wait, what? He wanted to go to the same school as me, but we didn't even know each other yet. How can that... Nonsense. He's speaking nonsense. Pay him no mind. But... I said pay him no mind! Alright. Jesus, Keisuke can be scary when he's flustered. No, but seriously, Alex, you stink. Well, it's not exactly my fault. Could you clarify on that story about the dumpster again? I don't think I quite got it yet. Oh, about that. This guy hacked my phone and installed tracking software on it so he could know where I was when I was out. I noticed that my phone's carcass was slightly bent out of shape this morning and decided to check. Once I realized what happened, I put my phone inside a used backpack, gave Alex the slip like I usually do, and threw the backpack into a random dumpster on the way so he couldn't find me. Tracking software? Isn't that illegal? In the end, I got covered in some foul substance that seemed to be decomposing meat that was thrown into the dumpster. The smell attracted a pack of wild dogs that chased me down 3 blocks. That's the most cartoonish thing I've ever heard in my life. Can stuff like that even happen in real life? Up until this morning, I would have said no. No. Getting chased by a pack of wild dogs because of meat juices is just... It's just too surreal to be allowed to be true! But before that, I think I have a more important question to ask. Back up a minute here. Why did you have to give him the slip? That... My contract dictates that I accompany Keisuke at all times when he is not at school. Unfortunately, he refuses to allow me to do my job and continuously sneaks away from me. But you're his bodyguard. Aren't you trained to keep an eye on him? How can he even throw you off like that? The wolf sighs, perhaps the first display of any kind of emotion I've seen from him so far. As a child, I taught him how to sneak around because I thought it might be useful if he one day got kidnapped. From the looks of it, I seem to have done too good a job. Keisuke smirks. Upon seeing the expression on his face, Alexander groans loudly. And this one seems to take pleasure in escaping me, even if it ends up with me taking a pay cut every single time. Which I always cover in full and throw in a little bonus. That's neat. Guess Keikun is sneakier than I initially gave him credit for. Oh yeah, I'm practically a ninja. Ninjas don't wear expensive Calvin Klein dress shirts when they go out. And neither do I. I sold the Calvin Klein ones and bought these Chinese knockoffs. Pretty good, right? Can't even tell the difference. Wolf smiled, shaking his head in amusement. Oh, you're too much. You keep finding ways to impress me. Not my fault you're easily impressed. I get that you two are having a moment and all, but the smell is starting to make my nose and eyes burn. Oh, right. As if only now he remembered about it, Alexander takes a few steps back. Honestly, every single bystander that passed us by has crooked their nose and walked away in a hurry to get away from his terrible smell. Yes, it's true. Alex, go back home and take a shower for the love of God. And risk you giving me the slip again? I don't think so. Plus, if I went back to the house without you, I'd have to suffer another dock in my pay. Alright. Just go look for a nearby bathhouse and buy some new clothes while you're at it. Drop these at a dry cleaner's. I'll reimburse you for everything. And... Keisuke groans. And I'll pick up the phone when you call to tell you where I am. Very well. As long as you promise to do so, then I will offer no complaint. I'll see you soon. Alexander bows to Keisuke and walks away. He conveniently either forgot that I was here or chose to ignore it. Wow, so you have a servant? I mean, I already knew your family had servants, but you have one on you 24/7? Not 24/7, but yeah, something to that effect. Alex has been with me for many years, almost as long as I've been with my father. He said something about you being your language tutor. What was that about? Oh, Alex knows a ton of languages, and he's fluent in every single one of them. So far, I've only managed to learn a couple, but I'm not anywhere near fluency enough in most of them. This reminds me, you talked to the transfer student in French that day. Did Alex teach you French too? Keisuke nods. Alex is much better than me, though. He doesn't even have an accent. You could make him for a native. He must have studied a lot to learn those. Yeah, I don't really know much about his background, but I do know he spends pretty much every moment when he's not with me either reading up on something new or practicing. Huh, that's interesting. So I guess we'll have a third person accompanying us soon. At that moment, I could have sworn I saw a glint of malice in his eyes. Keisuke smiles, looking eerily proud of himself. Not exactly. What? But you said... I said I'd pick up his call and tell him where I am when he calls. I never said anything about still being there when he gets there. That's evil. He shrugs. I wouldn't call it evil so much as cunning. Honestly, the only reason Alex falls for these is because he lets his guard down around me. Even though I'm always outsmarting him, he never gives me enough credit and ends up underestimating me. That's how you lose. That's Machiavellian. I know, I take pride in my cunning. I shake my head. Alright guys, I'm all paused right here. Thank you all so much for watching. I guess we got to meet his gigantic, scary bodyguard. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. If a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!